Alright, I guess an update on this. I know I said I might stream this swap, but I kind of had forgotten that it's our end of procedural year at work, so I had to do like evaluations and competency reviews and stuff, but I digress. I haven't poked at it a lot until last night. I took the hood off there, and I did manage to get the engine out, and the pieces I needed stripped off this morning. It's like it's in pretty fucking rough, gross shape. That's what happens when you let your rear oil seal, or like these 3As, this in particular, this keyway thing tends to leak because people don't seal it properly. And then this seal too goes a lot of times and people don't deal with it, or the fuel pump is on the other. You can see like right through there because the fuel pump goes on the other side. I have a sneaking suspicion this guy just slapped new spark plugs in it just to get it running and everything, because it smoked like a mother. And you guys saw that on my Twitter there. What else did I take off? The water pump. I might have to take this outlet because it's slightly different than the other one. But yes, there's the engine to go in there. I'm going to have to strip the air cleaner, the distributor off. You can see here the pulley. That's the pulley that is on this one, and this is the one that came, so you can see why that they are different. So I'll have to change that, which then means I'll have to change this. Do have to change the alternator because it's a slightly different hookup, even though everything's physically very, very, very similar and would physically go in and stuff. It's just the actual plug here is different. But yeah, these are the parts. There's the alternator. It's a round style, which is interesting because the other 3A that I have has an alternator with this style round plug, and it's only a year newer than this one. So yeah, it is what it is. And you can see I got the CV axle there. I've got the engine mounts that I need, and then the stabilizers to the transmission. And there's the distributor. I had to cut the exhaust, take my saw to it. There's no way those bolts were coming out. Don't need a flywheel, but I've got a flywheel, the pressure plate, and clutch disc is all in there. And then the back plate, I think it's identical to the one that's on there, so I'm not going to really worry about it, but I took it off just in case I have to replace it. I'm hoping this radiator, look at this freaking piddly thing. Look at how thin that is. I'm hoping that this radiator I can replace with the other one, because it's a little shorter, like this way. It's probably about this much shorter, but it is easily almost 3 times as thick of a radiator, which might or might not pose me any issues. I think all I'll have to change out are these radiator hold downs though, and maybe you can see there and there's where the bottom of the radiator mounts in. But yeah, one of the reasons I got to change the pulleys and stuff is because of the power steering, which I want to keep here and here. Sometimes one of the nice things about everything being covered in crud is bolts tend to come out easy, like crud as in oil and grease and shit. And everything seems to be protected. Oil is pretty good at protecting, grease is good at protecting shit. But we're going to push this out here, and just got to go crack the door and stuff. I'll go get my pressure washer from the shop, and I'll push this out to the driveway and just we sell environmentally safe degreasers and stuff like that at the shop, so I'll make sure to get all of that and use environmentally friendly stuff because I give a damn. But I was thinking I might have to rob some other parts off this other 3A like I was talking about, but it looks like I'm going to be okay, and I actually was going to put it on the stand to strip it, but I just put it on this board in this cart here. This moves around. So, but yeah, and then I've got tons of parts. Tons and tons and tons of parts. That whole harness there is a harness that would go in a Tercel, an earlier one than this, but anything I need, I'm pretty sure I'll have. There'll be a handful of things. I'm looking at the brake booster here. Probably going to replace that guy too. It looks like the larger style, so I'll put in the MR2 one. I don't know if I'll have to swap the, what do they call that? That's the slave cylinder? No, that's the master cylinder. That's the booster pot, and the slave cylinder is, well, not in this case would be the actual brakes. Ha! Blah, blah, blah. But I also noticed too, I've got, this is the MR2 part, AW11 part. It is identical to the control arms, at least appears to be. I'll have to take them out and put them side by side, but it appears to be identical to these control arms, which you can't really see in the dark. But it's not so much the control arms because it's just a piece of steel, but the bushings inside of them. You can see here, these ones are freaking minty. Yeah. So, and I've got a full set of these. I got like 2 or 3 sets of these. And if it is a case that they will work, there are upgradable, aftermarket, lightweight, adjustable, blah, blah, blah versions for the MR2. So, who knows? I think I'd like to jack this guy up a little bit. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with my tires here. These are 13-inch rims. So I have a set of 14-inch rims that are shite on the car that's on the other side of that wall outdoors. That would just bolt on here and are right, but then that leaves me with nothing to go on there other than these ones, and it's not a Toyota, but it will take MR2 rims, which I have a set on a car out there, and then in the corner there you can see some rims. The top ones are a different bolt pattern, but there's another 4 down there that will go on here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because they're 14-inch, because then I'd have to swap. But I have 13-inch, brand new 13-inch rubber on the Tercel that's just out there, just on the other side of that door. So I might take the rubber off there, because it is winter studded, really, really, really nice winter tires to put on here. Because the original plan was to drive the other Tercel. If you haven't seen it, check out my other videos. My 1980 Tercel. But it's got nice winter tires on it now. Not the tires that are on the video, but like really good ones. But they're on steel rims, but they don't match the bolt pattern. Right size, not right bolt pattern. So, but other than that, my eldest daughter decided to give me a hand with this, and she said she's going to be out here today at some point in time. I think I showed this, maybe not, but that's the freaking coolant that came out of that engine. It's freaking gross. That's another thing I need to do when I get out here, is make sure I flush the heater core that's there, and then make sure I flush that, even though I don't think I'm going to use that guy. I think the one I'm going to use is the one hiding behind the bike here. Somewhere down there. Right there. That's the one I think I'm going to use. Like I said, it's a little smaller, but it's way thicker. And yeah, should I need anything else? Well, you can kind of see the rims there, but those are actually the really nice ones. They're like, don't have a freaking ding or a scratch on them. The ones that are out there on the car were sitting for a long time and outside, and they all got rust pitting and stuff, so I don't mind putting them on here. But they're the triangles from first gen NMR2. If you don't know what that is, you can go look it up. Well, yeah, like I say, I got this everything going here. Just made room, made it go, making a mess. But as far as live streams go, I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to, but at the same time, there's a lot of coming and going, and I'm so random that I might start a stream and then walk away for 20 minutes and not realize that I had streamed. So we'll see what happens. Well, I'll certainly keep chunking these progress videos as I can. And yeah, today's goal is mostly to get that stuff changed over. Well, cleaned up first. I think if I can get everything clean today, voice crack. If I can get everything clean today, I'll be happy. And then if by this evening I have this on the crane here or at least some of this stuff swapped over, like the water pump is the big, like that's as deep as I gotta go, but that requires a gasket, which I think, more parts. I think I had bought more parts. I had bought a set for a 4A from a guy. He was calling a timing kit, and yeah, there it is. Look at that. Brand new in the bag Toyota water pump gasket. So I'm hooked up. But with that, I appreciate you guys having a look and taking your time, and come check again, and we'll see what the future brings to Munchie here. He's just going to be bumming around. Peace.